We on. This is Ephesians. I'm gonna start from the top, 11 at the top. It's Ephesians chapter 2 verse 11. It says, "Wherefore remember that ye, being in the time past Gentiles, in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands." Right, because that circumcision was a physical circumcision. Why? Because Jake grew up in Jerusalem, knowing that they're Israelites, knowing to circumcise their children on the 8th day, as it was told, you know. But what? They didn't have the faith to accept the scattered Jake that were you know, scattered abroad, the diaspora, you know. They didn't want to accept them because they would be their heathen and their Gentiles. And that was pride, man. Right. And that's why Yahawashi had to come to bring that breach back, man. Because what happened in the Apocrypha was a separation in our nation. Where the ones that cleaved unto the heathens, they tell you in the Maccabees that the ones who were cleaving unto the heathens' laws, statutes, and commandments, they ran into the heathen lands for succor, meaning help. And when they went there, they stayed there. They created generations of Israelites who didn't know who they were anymore, right. who were comfortable in these abominable acts, man. Right. And you had them trying to come back with Paul and his ministry, and then you had the Pharisees who would come right behind Paul once he planted that seed and bear burdens and put burdens on them that were too heavy for them to deal with. They were still babes. And this was the divide that you had, and this is why Yahawashi is stressing the spirit. The brother brought that out beautifully. He said that no man should boast, man, because Jake was boasting in the law, man, wickedly boasting in the law, man, because he was oppressing his own people with it, man. That's why the Lord said in the law, don't oppress the stranger that is in our land, man. Just because that Israelite came from another place and he came into Israel, well, where your family at, man? Why y'all ain't live in Israel? Because you know the same spirit Jake got now with the things that's vain in this world, he had it with the scriptures. So if Jake will look at you and say, oh man, that boy's shoes ain't on point, you can best believe Jake was in Israel saying, man, that boy garment flawed, man, that shit weak. That boy need to get that real garment, this real silk, this real linen. Because Jake had the same spirit, man, because it wasn't about the spirit for Jake, it was about crossing all the letters. I keep this commandment, I keep this commandment, I keep this commandment. But they weren't being spiritual with the law, man.
Some of them had their sacrifice ready before they even...
They was playing the game. Yeah. Jake doing exactly what he doing now. He was doing that in the ancient world with the righteousness, which is why Yahawashi had to completely take our heritage, because we were performing wickedly with the heritage we were given, man. Here it is, the Lord gave us the law to show forth righteousness, and Jake was using it to brag on his other brother, man. Now y'all strangers can't come in the land, man. What you doing out there with them Greeks, boy? What you doing out there with them Greeks? I bet you had a rib sandwich. Stop lying. You already know how Jake operate, man. So Yahawashi said we were going to forget our heritage just for a reason, because we profaned his name among the heathens. And that's what he said in Ezekiel, man.
That's why he said he's not going to do it for our sake. He's doing it for his holy name's sake.
Because when we had it, we blew it, man.
This is Romans chapter 2, verse 28. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly,
beautiful,
neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of the Most High.
And that's beautiful that that brother brought that out, because we read past these scriptures, but in the ancient world, Paul was telling them, look, man, what you've done in the works don't matter right now, man, because we've broken that covenant as a nation of people. Your works individually is not gonna save the nation of Yasharahla, which was promised the kingdom. On the conditions that we keep the law perfectly, man. Jake wasn't even keeping the law perfectly, and he was proud. Which is why Yahawashi had to take it from us, man. And had to bring us back up in humility, man. This is Romans chapter 9 and verse 6. Not as though the word of Yahawah had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So just because you come from the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob doesn't make you an Israelite, man. What makes you an Israelite is living the way an Israelite is supposed to live.
And it tells you how to live. And I think it's Revelation chapter 14 and 12. It says that you got to keep the commandments of Yahweh and maintain the faith in Yahawashi.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's why when people come up here, they think that you have to be a spiritual Israelite. That is true. You do have to be a spiritual Israelite, but you have to be an Israelite by blood first.
Right.
To be that spiritual Israelite, because what happens to 2/3 of our people, we don't look at them as Israelites, we look at them as heathen, man. And righteously too. You know, no, not that brothers up here are boasting. It's already ordained that there's a 2/3 that's gonna get put to death, and this brother brought that out in Zechariah.
Right.
You know?
This is Job chapter 22, verse 2. It said, can a man be profitable unto God, as he that is wise may be profitable unto himself? Is it any pleasure to the Almighty that thou art righteous, or is it gain to him that thou makest thy way perfect?
So it's a benefit to you to keep the laws to the best of your ability, man. But Yahawashi did not give us the righteousness to be proud, man. And that's what you had. The intention of the law was not being performed by the nation, man. Which is why Yahawashi came and he was getting on the Pharisees, man. You got that Matthew 23 out? Because Yahawashi was talking about the scribes and Pharisees, and he was saying certain things that give you an indication of why they were off in the spirit, man. You got it, huh?
Matthew 23, verse 2. The scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Oh, therefore, whatsoever they bid, you observe. They observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and they do not. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders.
And that's what they were doing to the newborn babes that were coming back into the faith, man. They were dropping a whole bunch of heavy loads on them to keep the law, and you couldn't keep it, man. That's why I said the things that they couldn't do, they were putting these burdens on newborn babes, man.
Well, you see the same thing going on today, man, with these different camps, man. You know, when they be talking about, oh, wear your fringes every day, man. It ain't all about fringes, man.
Bring this up again. Matthew 23, verse 4. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers.
So they were coming to the Gentiles and telling them, you got to keep this law, you got to keep this law, you got to keep this. And they had the law their whole life and couldn't keep it perfect. Which is why Paul was having to say, put out letters like this, man. Well, Paul had to put out a letter saying that you're not a Jew outwardly, but inwardly. Because we were relearning our nature. We were relearning the nature of the laws, man. And what Yahawashi intention was when he gave us these laws, man. It wasn't.
We got our fringes on mentally too, man.
The spiritual garment, man. And that's what it's about now. That's why it's over most of the nation of Israel's head, man. Even the ones that are within, so to speak, man, who know they're Israelites, man. The spiritual part of what Yahawashi intentions were is going over their heads even now. Because they feel like if they put their fringes on every day, when Yahawashi come and he bring down, he's not going to judge you according to the spirit. And that's what he's going to do, man.
That's so heavy because so the Christians, they take that and they think that that applies to all people. But that's still Yahawashi dealing specifically with the nation of Israel, man. Because among the elect, there's an elect, man.
Right.
And that's what they can't understand, man. And I like to harp on that point that that's why I love Romans 9 and 6, man. When you read it properly, Paul is telling you that not all Israel are they which are of Israel. So just because you come from the seed line of Jacob when there's 12 sons, doesn't make you an Israelite in the heart, man. Having faith in Yahawashi, keeping the commandments of Yahweh to the best of your ability, man. That's being an Israelite. That's what an Israelite is about. It's truth and sincerity.
Matthew chapter 23, verse 5. It said, but all their works they do for to be seen of men.
Exactly. And that was the point of what the Pharisees were doing wickedly, man. It was all to be seen of men. All of their works was so they could be seen and heard, man, and get glory from men. That's why Yahawashi told us not to fast all in public, man. Because somebody was out there setting an example like that, man.
Or praying in public.
Praying in public, you got it.
They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uttermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogue.
And that's Jake now today, man. Jake loved the flyest rooms, being in the chief part of the club, all of that. The Pharisees were carrying that same mentality and wickedness, man. They were using the scriptures to be to promote themselves, man. It was for them to receive glory. You got it,
and greeting, verse 7, it say, and greeting in the markets to be called of men, rabbi, rabbi.
So they love the glory, man. They love the fame. Going into the marketplace where everybody at and hearing everybody say, oh, rabbi, rabbi. That's Jake now, man. Going to block and everybody know you, man. It was the same mentality. The only difference was that we had the scriptures, man. We had the garments, man. And Yahawashi had to take our heritage from us because we were treating us like the new Jordans, man.
That's crazy because the scripture says, for lo, I come in the volume of the book and it's written of me. And that's Yahawashi speaking. So it's like they tried to take the glory, Yahawashi's glory from him and place it upon themselves. That's pride, man. And the scripture says that pride goes before destruction.
And here you go right here.
Oh, you got content.
This verse 8. But be not ye called rabbi, for one is your master.
Right.
Even Hamashiach, and all ye are brothers.
Wham, because they was trying to take his position, man. They coveted the position of their older brother, man, which was destined to have the kingdom, man. They coveted the position of the king, man. And because the Messiah wasn't around at that point, they were putting on as the Messiah, man. They were coveting the glory that the Messiah was soon to come, was going to receive, man. And when he came, they rejected him because they were comfortable in the glory. They wanted their little piece of Yahawashi's glory, but it's not yours to have, man. And that's why Yahawashi was rebuking them, man, because they were taking these laws and they were carrying themselves as Yahawashi. We want his glory. We want to walk in the courts and them say, Master, Master, Rabbi, Rabbi, man. And it shows you that there's a wicked way to have esteem, and there's a righteous way. Because King David had esteem. King David had wealth. But King David didn't do it for the people to see it and glory in it. King David gave all his glory to Yahawashi, man. And what did the Pharisees do? They didn't rebuke anybody that called them Rabbi, Rabbi, man. That show you, man, that Yahawashi had to take that. It's a reason that we're out here as a nation of people lost without an identity, man. Because we profaned the name of our Lord, man, in front of all these nations, man. And we still butt-ass naked out here, man.
This is Job chapter 4, verse 7. It say, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished, being innocent, or were the righteous cut off. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same.
And that's what happened, man. Because there's one quote where it tells you that outwardly they look good, but inside is dead men's bones, man. And that was the Pharisees in a nutshell, man. They were Israelites outwardly. You could see them and you could say, all right, that's a man of the Lord. That's a man of the Lord right there. He got that big garment, that nice garment. You see that gold at the bottom of that man garment? If he ain't a man of the Lord, man, if he ain't got a seat at the table, and that's Jake today, man. You go to your pastor, the pastor with the finest suits and the Rolexes, because you think the Lord dealing with him, man. That's the same attitude Jake had. The only difference is he had the law. He actually had the scriptures, man.
And that's crazy. You brought that out, though.
And the Mexican.
It's 10 and 2 that my people
and the Canadian.
Not according to knowledge.
Not according to knowledge, but check this out.
Right now, Jesus has hair white like wool, amen. Eyes flames like fire. Right? He's going to come back to judge idolaters. He's going to come back to judge false witnesses who are spreading lies. He's going to come back to judge false prophets. He's going to come back to judge the people that are full of hatred and vain religions. Vain religion.
Chapter 8,
you need to be born again in the Spirit of God.
And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they set her in the midst, they said unto him, Master, This woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Verse 5. Now Moses and the Lord commanded us that such should be stoned. What sayest thou? Verse 6. This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Yahawashi stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he heard them not. Verse 7. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast the stone at her.
They couldn't cast the stone, man. The reason they couldn't cast that stone is because they were all in iniquity, man. We have all fallen short, and Paul made that very clear, man.
Guys, you need to be born
Paul
again.
said, I was a Pharisee of the Pharisees, man. As touching the law. When you talk about the law, who did it like I did it, man? That's the spirit Paul was in, man. Because it's not of works, it's of faith, man. It's of faith, man. And this same faith is what's bringing the nation of Yasharahla back together, man. And making all these heathens rage, man. Every time things in the spirit start moving and being edifying, Satan comes in the midst, man. And that's what you have now, man. You have Satan coming in the midst again. Every time the word come out and it's fruitful and everything is moving and ticking and tacking, you have Satan in the midst, man.
Oh yeah, Satan, yeah.
Every time, man. We going into a beautiful lesson, and YAHAWASHI had to remind us that Satan is always in the midst, man.
That's why he told. That's what he told. It's crazy you said that because when basically Most High Yahweh and Lucifer, man, made that bet on Job, man. It says when the angels convened, he used to ask Lucifer, and he said Lucifer replied and said going to and fro in the earth, man. So Lucifer is going to and fro in this earth through his physical counterpart, which is Esau, man.
And the worst thing you can do to an Edomite is ignore his ass, man.
Oh my God.
That's the worst thing you can do to a so-called white man is ignore him and don't include him.
Yeah, they want to be included,
They
man.
came way up here just to say that.
And get their happy ass on. Because they were begging for attention.
Come up here and get loud. That's Satan.
But you know what's beautiful about that though? The scripture says that Esau lives by the sword, right? Now, in this particular instance, their sword was what? The bullhorn. Right? That was their sword. That was the weapon that they were trying to
weapon
use
of choice.
to out outvoice. But you can't talk over the words of Yahweh Shemi Awashad for the simple reason prophecy, man. They can come as loud as they want with a bullhorn. Hey, guess what? America's still gonna get hit with 200 million nuclear missiles.
Still gonna be destroyed.
It's still gonna be destroyed.
That's a fact.
And all you so-called white people are going into captivity under the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Where you belong.
Hey, where you belong, man.
For everything that you've done, and it makes sense. It's like if I've done a whole bunch of crimes, I'm a criminal, my face is on wanted posters. Why would I expect not to go to jail and pay for my crimes? Like they act like it's shocking. Like, oh, me, the triple-time felon. The one that just did that quadruple murder last week, me?
Me?
I gotta pay for that?
You don't say.
Yeah.
You don't say.
That's because Edomite supremacy, so-called white supremacy, has blinded the minds of these people, and they actually think that the so-called white man should get away with all his crimes. Right. They actually feel they are actually in the spirit of we should just forgive him and move on and take the crumbs from his table, man.
It's one thing to forgive somebody that's gonna return that and give you that same energy in return. But this man you forgive him and he stabs you in the back every time.
And he's still doing it. It ain't like we can stop talking about the past. We can talk about now, man. All these Negroes getting killed and all these silent ass white people, man. It show you that they don't care about you, man. They silent bystanders watching your destruction, man. And here it is, you trying to uplift. Well, we shouldn't talk about them. Oh, that was the past, we gotta move on. No, man. The nigga's still doing it. The nigga ain't stopped, man.
All he did was change his tactic.
He just got more systematic with his destruction, man.
You said that was the past, right?
Right.
No, so he required that of the past.
Hey, man, so...
Hey, that's why Paul said, I mean, I think it was Peter said not to be ignorant that one day,
Peter,
one day to Yahweh is 1,000 years to us. So really and truly, Yahweh shot went on the cross 2 days ago.
He said, be not ignorant of that.
Yeah, exactly. He went. It's only been in the spiritual heaven when he sits on the right hand of the Father. It's only been 2 days. You gotta understand that, man.
But they not gonna understand it because they weren't giving it.
Exactly.
They wasn't giving it to them.
It's only 2 days.
2 days and he's still
So could you imagine from Yahawah's perspective, man, we just moving like this.
Yeah, that's a fresh body.
It's like when you look at electricity go through a wire, it's moving so fast. But to us, you know what I'm saying? But that's how it is. We're like a fucking circuit board.
Yeah.
Just little,
the speed? We think it's just
speeding. Right. Right.
That's why the Lord said, though it tarry, wait
for it.
Because he understood that we in this mortal flesh. We in this mortal flesh. And that's why Peter said, as some men count slackness, man. Because Jake in his flesh, man, he's seeing things move slow. He's seeing the proud win. He's seeing the proud get stronger.
Exactly.
That's another snare. The proud they getting to a carnal man, they're getting stronger, man. Their grip on the world is getting tighter, man. But if you see through the spirit, this man is falling, man. He's becoming desperate. He's becoming low self-esteem. All that confidence he had in the 50s is gone.
And that's why, like, when I usually tell people, America has already been destroyed.
Yeah. In the spirit, the spirit is gone, man.
It's already gone. America, like, hey, nothing that the Most High speaks comes back onto him void, man. Right. He prophesied that this place is going down. It already went. The moment he uttered it, it already went down, man. We're just waiting. We're literally playing the roles in a movie, man.
Right.
It's just a movie.
Just a DVD inside the DVD
player. Thank you. It already got destroyed, man. The white man already fell, man.
Yeah, that's why Yahawashi said, I have already conquered. I have already won the battle. It's already, I done saw, I done see, hey, y'all ain't got there yet, fellas. But I crossed that finish line. I see what the glory is, you know. I already see what we got waiting on us. That's why I'm telling y'all to hold on to your crown.
And who was more spiritual than Yahawashi?
Nobody. Nay. I say no one, man.
But the Most High, bad though. He still didn't even tell Yahawashi when the time and the hour. Man.
That show you that even at the last seconds of this kingdom, Yahawashi got to show obedience, man. Exactly. He got to show, he got to be subject and obedient. So how much more you as a man under Yahawashi, man, waiting for your blessing though you don't deserve it, man.
He deserves it.
Right. You got it all.
This is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 37. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry.
And he's not tarrying, man. In the spirit, we see that. That's why it's saying Daniel or Habakkuk, I should stand upon my watch to see what he should say to me, man. And that's what we do when we look at the news and we check off prophecies. That's us looking at the time and measuring the time diligently, man.
Yeah, right.
Sitting on our watch, man. Not sitting on our leaves, being diligent. Because if you're diligent, you can see this place is falling in the spirit, man.
It's Sirach chapter 7 and verse 16. It says, number not thyself among the multitude of the sinners, but remember that the wrath will not tarry long, man.
That's
right. So you number Yahawashi said he's coming to bring division, man.
Right.
So numbering yourself among the multitude means it might be some of your family members, man.
Right.
It might be your best friend. You know, your close family members, man.
When you look at us, you got it.
It says number yourself not with the multitude of the sinners, man, whoever it may be, because the wrath is not going to tarry long. So this is above how you feel, man. And that only is going to take a righteous man, a man that Yahawashi is dealing with. He put that faith in their heart to be able to say, you know what? Yo, this is my mother, this is my father, my brother, my sister, but guess what? I gotta deal with y'all from a distance now, man. My work is heavy, man.
Well, you know what? That's just like in The Godfather, man. Yeah. The Godfather, it was about, if you haven't seen it, it's about the crime family. But then there were two brothers. There were one that was supposed to be going on the right road, and there was another one who was supposed to get the kingdom. He was hot-headed, so he lost the blessing. And then you had another one who was too weak to stand and stay firm. So what did the one that ended up getting the crown have to do? He had to get rid of that brother that was weak. He had to get rid of him for the sake of the entire family. And that's what Yahawashi is doing now, man. That's why he said I came to bring division, man. Because they're going to be some strong and they're going to be some weak. And the weak ones are going to continue the cycle that we in right now. The only way for us to get out of this mission is the weak ones got to go, man.
Gotta go.
And if you ain't strong enough to have that happen, if you ain't strong enough to stand that or stomach it, then you gotta go with them.
Hey man,
I got
they say, oh, go ahead.
real quick. John 16:33. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world.
Yeah, so the Lord telling his men, sit tight, man. I know y'all few in numbers. I know y'all up against a mighty army, but just chill. The air support is on the way. I got you.
He that endureth unto the end,
Exactly.
the same shall be saved. And it tells you in Sirach 2, take on, are you getting that right now? Yeah. That's heavy. That's heavy.
Even in the sight of great adversity, Yahawashi is telling us to endure because he already got he got the W already. We just gotta stand firm, man, and wait for that air support, man.
Which is why it's crazy for me to hear that the Lord is all love. But look at this though. They say like, oh, let's look at Navy SEAL training for example. You know, a certain amount of people go to boot camp or Navy SEAL training. Let's say 100 go. They say only about 18 or 25 are actually gonna make graduation because the training was rigorous, it was tough, it was mentally draining, it was physically draining and demanding. But what? The weak got weeded out and the strong, you know, finished training, man. And they graduated and so-called became that, you know, that Navy SEAL or whatever. It's the same thing with the scriptures, man. It's the same thing with living day-to-day life in Esau's kingdom, man. It's the same thing. It's rigorous, man.
This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased in thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
Hey, man, and knowing the names, man, that's why Yahweh says the name of the Lord is a strong tower, man, and the righteous run into it. You know what I'm saying? That's how we endure in this thing. We call on the name Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi, man. Calling on those two names, and you know, I said we're safe, man. Scripture says, strive unto the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, man. That's hey, this endurance has nothing to do with us, man. Right. The only reason why we're able to sit here and endure any of this is because Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi. That's the only reason.
That no man should boast, man. And no man can glory and boast in his own works. Because everything we have is at the mercy of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi. Everything we have is at the mercy of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi. Us waking up and still knowing the name. Us waking up and still remembering precepts. Us waking up and still being in the mentality to chase after righteousness, man. All of that is a mercy of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi.
Not just only that, but if it wasn't for the grace of the Lord, man, dealing with all these GMO foods and shit that we eat, man, we'd be dead already, man. Even the organic shit. Organic ain't organic, man. As long as they spraying chemtrails in the air, all that shit is getting on all the crops, all the food, man. So it's through the grace of the Most High that, you know, that we still living, man. The water's all fucked up, everything, man.
The diseases they put in our neighborhoods, the Planned Parenthood, abortion clinics, man. I mean, as a people, man, you know, the sickle cell, high cholesterol, hypertension, thyroid problems, man.
But it tell you that the spirit of a man will sustain his infirmities, man. And Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi gave us the understanding, and with that understanding comes being sustained, man. Because Yahawashi prayed that we not be taken out of the world, that we be kept from the evil, man. And that's what Yahawashi's prayer is being answered, man. We're being sustained, man, and we still have to deal with all of these elements. Even the food, we have to get the best of the worst, and even the best of the worst can destroy you, man.
Exactly. And that's that Navy SEAL training right there that we gotta go through and endure. That's what the endurance is talking about.
Because you can eat healthy, you can drink all the water, all the clean waters, but you still getting sprayed with chemtrails. You still gotta come out here and breathe the elements. The Lord has given the world wholly to the wicked, and he has not left any stone unturned, man. Everywhere you go is death, man. That's why King David said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, man. Because all the cards are stacked against us, man.
This is Job chapter 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. I'll read this again. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
And our people make allegiances with the wicked now, man. They condone the wickedness for a prize, man. For some comfort in this world, man. Like the Lord don't see you. Like the Lord not gonna catch everybody on his hit list, man.
Hey, didn't they say when we departed from them we have had much sorrow?
Right. Because our people have made an allegiance with the wicked, man. And that's why the Lord said, though hand join their hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. And you're gonna have to die like a heathen for cleaving unto them, man. They did all of this wickedness to you and you just follow them around and everything's cool, man.
That's why it says in Psalms 82 and 6, man, ye are gods, but you shall die like men, man. Here it is. We're the walking embodiment of YAHAWASHI on the earth, man. We're supposed to be a light to the Gentiles. Why? It tells you in Isaiah 2 what the end result is gonna be, man. So here it is. Look where we at now, man.
So we're vessels unto righteousness, man.
Right. That's why when you go to the strangers of his salvation, a couple of verses down, it says, this was he. The heathens are gonna say, this is he that we had in derision, man. These are the children of YAHAWASHI. As of right now, we ain't setting that example. As a nation.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we depart from them, we have had much sorrow.
And our people are doing that today, man. These pastors, man. These people these politicians of our people, they get put in a place to appease our nation to continue being in captivity and destroyed, man. They make covenants with the heathens every day, man. They wear a suit and tie. Jesse Jackson made covenants with the heathens, man. Martin Luther King made a covenant with the heathens, man. And look where they got our people, man. De-fucking-stroyed, man. All for some money, and they killed him anyway, man. They had him killed anyway, man. It shows you the serpent, man. That he don't keep his word, and he'll use you and abuse you, man. When he's done with you, he gonna discard you, man.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation.
Yeah, and that's their consolation. They've made an agreement with the heathens round about, and they've received their consolation. And now they create this watered down Christianity to make themselves feel better at night, man. While they sit in these big ass houses, man. Knowing that they lying to the people, man. But the only way that they can appease themselves is to say that if I believe in the Lord, he'll forgive me for all of my wickedness. Even though I maintain the same wickedness every day, man. To pay my bills.
That's what I was doing back then. Right, that's why the man walked away from YAHAWASHI grieved, man. They ain't want to give it. Matter of fact, the scriptures say that it's easier to put a camel through the needle of an eye,
right,
than it is for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of YAHAWASHI, man. And if any of y'all know what a needle is, not talking about an actual needle. The needle was an entrance. It was like an entranceway, a door post, like a frame. Is that what you would say? A door frame?
Right.
Yeah,
entrance into
like yeah, right. So
try to get it.
Oh, yeah, as soon as it's on. Oh yeah, right. If you Google needle, it actually brings up what a yeah.
Because it's hard to humble a camel.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Y'all brothers know about myself, but I'm gonna go ahead and read the definition.
A needle. Yeah, it was doorway of the entry. The entry of the doorway into a city. Needle.
Shall I look? Is it needle?
Yeah, needle.
What's on the needle?
Yeah, say it.
what the brother was talking about it's easier for a rich man to get into the the brother's gonna quote it. Matter of fact, whenever y'all brothers get the precept, I'll read the definition. The one with the needle's eye. Yeah. I got the definition. Matthew 19:24. Because that's beautiful, man. That show you that you gotta have faith in YAHAWASHI, man. Here it is, our forefathers, they gave up everything for us to get the blessing, man. They put everything on the table, man. They bet it all on YAHAWASHI, man. And that's the reason we had a blessing we have today, man. You got it on the lock.
You got it out?
Wait, read.
This is Mark chapter 10 and verse 25. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of YAHAWASHI.
Now this is the compact, Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary, and on page 393, it gives you the definition of needle's eye, and it says, found only in Christ's statement in Matthew 19:24 and Mark 10:25, Luke 18:25. YAHAWASHI probably intended to teach that it is utterly absurd for a man bound up in riches to expect to enter into the kingdom of God. All right, here it is. It says the Jaffa gate in the wall of Jerusalem showing the needle's eye. Here it is, if you can see it. It says small doors such as this were common features of the gates of ancient cities. Though humans could pass through easily, large animals such as camels had to be unloaded and kneel to get through. Right. So the analogy was that you have to humble yourself to get into the kingdom, man. You have to be willing to put everything on the line and forsake everything that you may obtain YAHAWASHI, man. And that's exactly what Paul did, man. Paul had reputation, man. Paul had influence, man. Paul had position in Yasharahla, man. And he gave all that up that he may win YAHAWASHI, man. And that's something that the rich man couldn't do. Even though he could keep the letter, he wasn't willing to give up the earthly possessions that he received, man. And the disciples, when they asked YAHAWASHI, what should we get? He said, you should get 100-fold for everything that you lost, man. Everything you lost, you're going to get that and more, man. Don't even worry about that, man. Establish this in the spirit first, man, that you may keep it.
That's heavy because really, truly, YAHAWASHI knows who his 1/3 is, he knows who his 2/3 is, man. Hey, you know, I speak as a man, though, but if YAHAWASHI dealing with you, man, he ain't even going to allow you to be rich anyway in this society. You notice that?
Yeah.
It tells you that in Haggai, I think it's 1 and 6, you know. You putting your money into bags, you know, filled with holes.
We'll fill with holes, falling out.
And this is an example, just like in the Zondervan dictionary, of like one of those kind of gates in the city, but the ones that the needle eye was smaller. So that big ceiling that you see on there, the needle eye was smaller. So the camel literally had to hunch down and crawl through that tunnel in order for them to get into the city. So it took a merchant a while to humble his animal to get through there. If his animal didn't get through there, he wouldn't be able to make merchandise, man. Here goes another example. So YAHAWASHI's example wasn't saying that it was impossible for a rich man to get into the kingdom. It's just he had to humble himself to get into the kingdom.
So this is what everybody think right here.
Yeah, and this the folly of the world, man. This is what the world.
Lack of knowledge, bro.
But that show you that when people see that, they're like, oh no. So that means I gotta be broke to get into the kingdom. Oh no. But King David had riches, man.
Right.
King David had wealth, but King David didn't let that wealth get in the way of YAHAWASHI, man. And that's what we're being trained to do now, man.
This is Sirach chapter 26, verse 29. A merchant shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong, and an huckster shall not be free from sin.
Especially in this world, man. Because this world has been designed that the only way that you can make it and be completely successful in a common way is to be wicked, man. To cheat people, to lie, to do business without integrity. You know, and Yahawashi was saying that it's not impossible for a rich man to get into heaven. He was just saying that that it's hard, it's difficult, because just like the brother brought out, it's difficult for a merchant to do business and not be wicked, man. In this world, man. It's hard for that to happen, man. And then there's the love of money, man. You get close to the money and then you start falling in love with it, man.
All for the love of money, because it's like if I had a used car, right? And you know, I deal with somebody and I say, look, this car only got 80,000, but really what I did was I rolled back the odometer from 150,000 to 80. But that's bad business, man. And that's not having integrity when you're doing business, man. And that's you know, through the, you know what I'm saying, because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, man. That's what we've learned to do, you know.
But that's why the Lord had those in Proverbs, I believe, where it says a false balance is an abomination, man. Because Jake being a merchant and trying to get by, man, Jake will play with the scales, man.
But Esau did that though.
It say that you are of your father the devil.
Right. And that's crazy because I always bring it out, man, when that deal went down, man, between Jacob and Esau, man. He tried to renege, man, when he was telling his brother, you know, feed me of that red pottage, man. And Jacob said, man, what? Feed me, give me this, the blessing, man. He basically said, you know what is this blessing gonna do for me? I'm at the point of death, man. And he sold him the bird, but he wasn't serious, man. He was thinking, you know, later on I'm gonna still take the blessing from Jacob anyway.
And that's why he was mad when Jacob had went in there and got what he had already deserved, man, because he did business, man.
And what's so heavy about that story, it said, as Jacob is walking out, oh, what's going on? I said, as Jacob was coming out, Esau was coming in, man, like as Jacob just finished getting the blessing and he was leaving, Esau was coming in, man. They probably bumped into each other at the door, you know? That's how bad the Lord is, man.
This is Sirach chapter 38, verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise.
Because wisdom is the wealth, man. Wisdom is the new wealth, man. And you seeing that all of the shit that Esau done did, all the shit the so-called white man did to get all these tangible riches, is gonna end up in his destruction, man. Because it's not according to wisdom, man. The children of oppressors are not gonna have an inheritance, man. It tells you that, roughly paraphrasing, that the legacy of corruptible children are not gonna be remembered or regarded, man. That Esau is no longer going to be renowned, man. He's no longer going to be put up as a pedestal, an example of what men should be. Esau is actually the base, and because as a part of he's turned everything upside down. Now the base looks like the top, man. The Lord say, put it over it, the bases of men. And then in 29:16 he say, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed, man. When you turn it upside down, what happens? The top is at the bottom now.
Hey, that's the same thing with homosexuality too, man. That's the new wave. That's the new thing. That's the new success. Man.
And it should be
the big gay, man.
Right. Esau himself is base, man, and he's at top.
Exactly.
So we say, yeah, it's right.
When you look at a lot of these fraternities, like all of these Greek fraternities, all these college fraternities, if you go on their website, they brag about how they're the top accountants, top lawyers, top this, top that. And they all into fucking homosexuality, man.
Yeah, all kind of gay, all kind of sodomitish rituals, man.
But that's Jake being Greeks, man.
Look at this, man.
That's Jake. That's a Greek right there. That's not a Jake, man. That's a Greek walking around, man.
But you know what? That was the controversy in Israel, man. Because you might have had a nigga that was doing that, and then he heard the word and changed. Now Jake and Yasharahla like, oh no.
A nigga like that,
that's the spirit. Cause you might have saw a nigga that was just walking. You know that's an Israelite, but he in a toga, he hair shaved. He was in the orgy last week, and now he don't put fringes on, and he trying to come learn the scriptures in humility. You looking at this nigga like, oh no, nigga, I saw you last week, cuz. I saw you walk out. I saw you walk out that orgy. Exactly.
Right. I got. You had a brief?
Yeah.
Nah, I think.
Oh man. Isaiah 33:6.
Ooh,
And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
And in the spirit, we're stable, man. Even though the world around us is going turbulent, even though sometimes we rock and sway, we're stable, man, because we have the knowledge and understanding of YAHAWASHI. We understand that the riches of this world is temporary. It said riches profit not in the day of wrath, man. We understand that the day of wrath is on the way, man. So the 401ks, the mortgages, the stocks and bonds, everything that they done invested in this world is going to come to an end. And they're going to be looking stupid, man. That's going to be the reward of the wicked who put their trust in Egypt, man, who put their trust in vanity, man. But wisdom, and you know what, if a brother could get Isaiah 28:5, man. Because in that day, everything that we've been studying, everything that we've been following, everything we've been sacrificing is going to be a crown unto us, man. And we're going to shine like the stars in heaven, man.
This is Isaiah chapter 28, verse 5. In that day shall the Lord of hosts be for a crown of glory and for a diadem of beauty unto the residue of his people.
And that's what we're hoping to be, man. Right now, what we have and what we're preaching out here is not esteemed among these people, because these people love folly, man. They love everything that doesn't, they love simplicity, man. That's why in Proverbs it says, how long will you simple ones love simplicity? But you got to have understanding to know that this is simple. Without understanding, this looks dope. To a man with no understanding, with no spiritual discernment, this is dope. Just roll with the punches and play the game and get yours. Without spiritual discernment and understanding, man. That's why the wisdom of YAHAWASHI is not esteemed amongst this world, man. This world loves simplicity, and our people love simplicity. That's why people continue to be on the bottom, man. Because they weren't designed to love simplicity. They were designed to be a monument of righteousness, man. They were designed to be the example of YAHAWASHI's righteousness on the planet Earth, man. Not being ruled over by devils, man. And that's what you got. Whole bunch of the children of oppressors walking around in flip-flops, having a good ass time like they ain't put our people in slavery, man.
That's why the Most High calls us Mount Zion, man. You know, in the Hebrew, that word in there is Tezayon, which means a monument, man. You know, when you build when somebody builds a monument to themselves, man, you know, they're holding that monument in high esteem, man. You know, usually, you know, when you look at it, these people in the ancient world, they built monuments of themselves, man.
Right.
To represent what? Themselves, man. The Most High YAHAWASHI built Yasharahla, man, which is his monument, which is we're supposed to be representing YAHAWASHI on the earth, man. You know, and that's ultimately what's gonna happen in the kingdom of heaven, man. We're gonna be that monument for YAHAWASHI again, man. You know, and that's why the scripture says that they're gonna walk up to our mountain, man, and learn of our ways, which is not even really our ways. It's YAHAWASHI's ways through working through us, man.
That's a fact.
This is Proverbs chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom and apply thine heart to understanding." Verse 3, "Yea, if thou criest after knowledge and lift up thy voice for understanding, if thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand and fear the Lord and find knowledge of YAHAWASHI, man."
And the Lord said that he only loved them that dwelleth with wisdom, man. So all of these people that don't receive gifts, they think the Lord really dealing with them, man. But he didn't give them the most precious gift of all, man. He didn't give them the most precious gift of all. He gave them all kind of money and all kind of tangible things, but he didn't give them what could lead to their salvation, man. What could lead to immortality, man. They going about it all, they trying to go up every other way except the way YAHAWASHI has prescribed for the earth to be in righteousness, man.
It says to do good when they have no knowledge.
Exactly. And it's because our people have been wholly given to their daddy, man. Daddy Esau, man. Our people follow Daddy Esau all the way down to perdition, man, which means destruction.
This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
And the shadow of Egypt and the garment of Egypt is darkness, man. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, man. No matter how good you get at wickedness, it's not going to equate to wisdom, man. And that's what this world has not grasped. Because all of these civilizations have established themselves on the same thing America do. They ain't doing nothing new. Homosexuality ain't just come out, it been out. And all of those nations that took hold of it got destroyed, man. And this is nothing new. We just watching another kingdom on its way out, man. And a whole bunch of people who not prepared for it, man. That's what we're witnessing. We're witnessing the Lord start to judge this place for the wickedness, man, and the folly, man. But it said that that put on a covering, but not of the Lord's Spirit, man, because it's not according to wisdom. They're not putting on the garment of wisdom. They're putting on the garment of gross darkness, man.
That's heavy. That's heavy that it says that. You know, that's why it tells you in Isaiah 52 and 1. It says, "Awake, awake, man. Put on thy garments, man."
Beautiful garments.
Hey, those beautiful garments is not talking about, you know, actual physical garments. We'll get that in the kingdom, man. But just how, to us, that garment is us awaking out of this slumber, which is the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of YAHAWASHI. You know, and with that, the faith, man, in YAHAWASHI, man. You know, that's what that garment is referring to, man. Matter of fact, the scriptures tell you that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, man, but against principalities, man. And these are the principalities that that garment is protecting us, man. That breastplate, man. Right. And it's protecting us from those principalities and those dark forces, man.
I got a precept. Ecclesiastes 2:26. For Yahweh giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner he giveth travail, to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before Yahweh.
And that's spiritual, Salaki, that's spiritual, because it says that to the man that Yahawah finds acceptable, he gives him understanding, he gives him knowledge. To the sinners, the ones that the Lord not dealing with, he gives them all the devices that's going to destroy them. That's why we don't get what these people out here get, because the Lord is giving them unto their own vile affections, man. And that vile affection don't always mean homosexuality. Sometimes it could be something that's just in excess, it's going to destroy you. But because the Lord loves the ones that he gives that wisdom to, he protects them and shields them from themselves. Because we're still in our flesh, so the Lord got to protect us from ourselves, man.
And to finish the point with what you were saying, this is also vanity and vexation of spirit.
And that show you that with everything King Solomon had, man, he understood that everything out here was vexation because it wasn't right, man. Because it wasn't the kingdom. He said he searched out folly. My man searched out wisdom. And he had everything, he still wasn't satisfied, man. That showed you that he wasn't right in the spirit, man. That we were still in these bodies, that we didn't receive the immortality that we want, that we truly desire, man.
I gotta lay some little piece right here. This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 21. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding, spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power.
Oh, it says free from care. What did the Lord tell Esdras? Let go of those mortal thoughts, man. Cast your heavy burdens on Yahweh Shai. Because with that wisdom, you don't have to care for what happens even to your own life, because you understand that Yahweh Shai is in control of everything, man. It's all up to him anyway. And if he gave you the wisdom, you don't think he's gonna protect you?
Overseeing all things and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirit, For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goes through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of God, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. For she is the brightness of everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of God, and the image of his goodness.
Salakia. So this is 2nd Esdras chapter 3 verse 5. It says, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hand, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. And what did the Lord tell Moses to tell the children of Yasharahla? I have given thee today death and life, man. Choose. This wisdom is the breath, man. It's the life. Without it, you're destined for destruction. That's why we're going to be made perfect, so that we can attain and continue to live continuously, man. It was never YAHAWASHI's intention for us to live 100 years, 200 years, die, come back through a mother's womb, a woman's womb, and have to relearn everything he taught you, and have to do it all over again. Live 200 years, 300 years, 100 years, 80 years now, 70 years if you're lucky, and then you gotta die, come back and relearn everything YAHAWASHI taught you in the first place, man. No, we were meant to be immortal, that we can immortally learn from YAHAWASHI and continue to build on the knowledge that he gives us, man.
Verse 27, it say, and being but one, she can do all things, and remaineth in herself. She maketh all things new, and in all ages entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of God and prophets.
See, you can only be a friend of YAHAWASHI with wisdom, man. YAHAWASHI told his disciples, I call you no more servants but friends, man. Because he had given them the wisdom, man. For you to have that wisdom, you got to be close. You in the circle now. You in the circle of trust now, man. So I don't have to call you a servant, because a servant don't know what his master's going to do, man. I told y'all the whole script. Everything my father told me, I told y'all. That makes y'all friends, man.
Right. That's why YAHAWASHI said, if you've seen me, you have seen the Father, man. Because YAHAWASHI came on the same type of time that the Most High Yahawah was on, man. You know, they were one, they were a hood, man.
Right.
No, you know, you go
can hold it.
This was just going into what you was talking about, how we don't get, you know, what other people receive, right?
This is Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of the Most High in vain.
So the Lord required balance, man. Solomon asked for balance, man. He didn't ask to be rich. He didn't ask to be poor, man. He asked to be content with his daily bread, man.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Exactly. Because too much, you'll forget Yahawah. Oh, YAHAWASHI, he gonna come when he wants to, brothers. You know, he gonna come. While we here.
You got some people like, oh, if I hit the lottery, nah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not. Man, you don't know what the hell you gonna do until you get that damn money in your hand, man.
And that goes into what you bring out all the time about Esau being fat, man. Esau, and that's where Esau is at right now. He ate too much, man. He denied YAHAWASHI. It was set up that way, but that's how he was set up to do it, man. And he ate right.
And that shows you the mentality of YAHAWASHI. Delicate balance consistently, man. If you get excess of too much, the Lord said, don't be over wise. Don't be over wicked. Don't be over righteous. Even with the good, you can overdo it. But the brother brought that out perfectly, because it shows you that YAHAWASHI keeps us from the evil, man. He don't let us get a certain amount of riches, but we'll say, who is YAHAWASHI? Who is he really? You know? Because that's the mentality of this world. Who is God? God's not real. Because I'm rich right now. I don't want to be judged for what I'm doing out here, man. That's the mentality of these people, man. And the poor, Their mentality is if God is real, why he put me in this position? That's their sentiment. Either way, it equals up to the same goal. It's just a different circumstance. That's why YAHAWASHI requires us to be in a balance. That's why sometimes the Lord gives us props, and sometimes the Lord gives us rebuke. Sometimes the Lord gives us a gift, and sometimes he takes some shit away. So you can